What is the trusted asset? Well, it has to do with your attitude. It's an important asset for a leader. And I'll tell you why. There are a couple of studies that have been shown. It's not the only asset, of course, that leaders have, but it's a very important one. And why is this one? Okay. Okay, what's going on here? I'm not seeing myself. Why am I not seeing myself? Okay. All right. Let's see here. I think I'll have to stop and start over. I don't know what's going on. Bear with me here. There it is. Almost 3 minutes in, I'm still trying to figure this out. Well, here we are. That's why it's alive. Things happen and you just gotta roll with it. So, there was a study done by Robert Half International. This is a San Francisco consulting firm, and they had asked vice presidents and personnel directors at 100 American companies, the largest ones, and they said, name the single greatest reason for firing an employee. And here are some of the responses. Very interesting. The highest was incompetence, 30%. The next, inability to get along with other workers, 17%. That's still pretty high. Dishonest or lying, 12%. Negative attitude, 10%. Lack of motivation, 7%. Failure or refusal to follow instructions, 7%. Now, the interesting thing is, if you look at whether it's the failure, and for anybody who's doing the math, I know there's 8% that was just other. So that's why I forgot to read it, other, okay? Because I know some people might be into numbers like I am, and they write down the 30% and add it up, like, hey, there's 8% missing. So that's where the 8% is. And if you look at it, whether it's dishonesty, negative attitude, lack of motivation, failure to follow instructions, those all have to do with attitude. Don't you agree? They all have to do with attitude. So, and even, in fact, the only one that doesn't really have to do with attitude is maybe incompetence, because that's skill-based. But all of them, even and especially inability to get on with other workers, it's attitude-based. And so, if we can work on our attitude and make it an asset instead of a liability, we can ensure that we're always a top performer wherever we are. Another study by Carnegie Institute, which analyzed records of 10,000 people, they concluded that 15% of success is due to technical training, but get this, 85% is due to personality, and the primary personality trait identified by this research is attitude. And think about it. Our attitude, it determines the way we see things, the way we handle our feelings. It has so much to do with the way we present ourselves, the way we interact with other people. And so the two things that greatly determine our success has to do with what we see and how we handle our feelings. So with this in mind, make sure your greatest asset, your trusted asset, I had to pick a T, so work with me here. T. So trusted asset, greatest asset. Make sure that your attitude is your greatest and trusted asset and not your greatest liability. But overall, I meant to mention earlier that I had a great day today. It was kind of busy. I had some good news which I shared with one of the associations I belong to. You'll be hearing more about that later on. And so that was some good news. It was busy. We had Toastmasters where we learned how to be better leaders and better communicators. And this is all part of me working on becoming a better communicator, a better leader, and learning. I'm learning just as I'm sharing, I'm learning, sharing, I'm learning. So it's all about having a growth mindset. And so thanks for joining me today. And I will see you at the next one. It's better for me to say next one because if I say tomorrow, my time zone is already the next day. But we'll leave that for later. You have to watch my other videos to know what I'm talking about, borrowed time zones. So see you tomorrow. Also, no,